Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Jill. This is my third attempt to try to film and get something up here. So fingers crossed it all works out this time. I'm so super excited and super nervous to start putting myself out here, but I'm also really looking forward to pushing myself out of my little creative box. So today I'm going to be creating this kind of cool toned mauve-y look for you, and if you want to see how I did this, then keep on watching. First things first, I'm going to be going in with the Glam Volcasmic Matte Moisturizer. I really like to use this as a base because my skin is super dry, so it gives me a good hydration boost and the matte finish I really like. Next, I'm going to be using the Hey Honey Open Your Eyes Eye Contour Lifting Fluid to moisturize my under eye area, since I'll be putting powder over it later and I want to make sure I keep it as hydrated as possible. And after that, I'm going to take the Dermalogica Hydrablur Primer and put it in my trouble spots to fill in my large pores. And I'm going to be using that in all of my problem areas, like my cheeks right by my nose where my pores are larger, and on my forehead where I have some fine lines and larger pores that could be filled in, and also on my chin. Last but not least, the skin prep, I'm going to take the MAC Cosmetics Strobe Cream in Goldlite. I like to use this for a little bit of extra glow and radiance underneath my foundation, so I just put a little bit on my cheekbones and put a little bit of the extra on my nose. And for my lip prep, I'm going to be using the Dr. Brandt Needles No More 3D Lip Plump Fix to prime my lips and make my lipstick color last a little bit longer. I went ahead and did my brows off camera with my Benefit Ka-Brow in number 4, so now I'm priming my eyes with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in light neutral on a Sigma 3D HD Precision brush. I ran out of my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot, so this is just acting as a substitute until I go buy some more of that. And I am taking the shade Creme from the Springtime in Paris palette to set that concealer. Now on a Luxie 229 brush, I'm taking the shade Camel from the Jouer Springtime in Paris palette and gently blending that into my crease and carefully blending upward towards my brow bone. I'm just really taking my time building up that transition shade color. And now on a Sigma E25 blending brush, I'm taking the shade Mauve and placing that directly in my crease and blending it into that camel shade. And for this look, I'm really following my natural eye shape and taking as much time as I need to really make sure everything is well blended. Definitely don't be afraid to go back and forth between that mauve shade and camel to make sure you get as seamless of a blend as possible. And one more time with that Luxie brush, I'm going over mauve with camel just to diffuse the edge one more time and just make it super soft. And now with a small Sonia Kashuk brush and the shade Aubergine, I am just taking that shade and pressing it all over my lid. And then one more time with the E25 brush, I'm just taking that to blend Aubergine into mauve. And now I'm taking the tiniest little bit of ash brown on a Sigma E36 blending brush and gently placing that in the outer corner area of my crease. And then I lied, I'm taking the E25 one more time just to diffuse that a little bit into the crease. And just for a little something extra, but not too extra, we're taking the Citrine highlighter from Jouer and putting that on our lid. Now that we're all done with our eyes, I'm going to move on to foundation. And for foundation, I'm using my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation in Y235. And I'm just taking my damp beauty blender and bouncing that all over my face, and taking the edge of the beauty blender to give a little bit more definition to my eye makeup, just to create a nice sharp edge. And for concealer, we're going to use the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Neutral, and just kind of getting rid of some of that excess right there on top. And my eyes are hooded, so I like to lift them up, so it's going to bring that up there.
And I'm also taking my concealer and running that up my nose and a little bit on my forehead, on my chin, and then also on the sides of my nose where I tend to have some redness.
Taking the same beauty blender that I applied my foundation with, I'm just going in and blending that out. So taking my Little Bitty Baby Kat Von D Lock It Setting Powder in Translucent and a Mauve E30 fluffy brush, I am just going to set that under eye area.
With that brush, I'm really going to press that powder into my under eye area. And I really like this powder because unlike other powders I've tried, this one doesn't make my under eyes look really heavy and dry. And I'm going to take that powder to set where I laid and blended out my concealer, so on my forehead, down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. And now using a Morphe M527 brush, I am taking my Benefit Cosmetics Hoola powder to bronze my face. So I'm just lightly dusting that on my temples, on my cheeks, and on my jawline.
Using this Makeup Forever HD pressed powder, high definition pressed powder, I'm just going to take that same Morphe brush and just stick it right along the edge of my jawline.
I like to do this to help kind of buff in that bronzer that we laid down a few seconds ago and just make the jawline a little bit more defined.
So now I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Illuminator in So Hollywood and an Anastasia A23 brush and just highlight the high points of my face.
This is my absolute favorite highlighter, and this is the one that I almost always reach for when I'm about to go out somewhere. I really wish that I would have grabbed more of this. I don't know if it's still on sale or not, but it is perfect in every single way.
And we're going to take the tiniest little bit of Romance Blush by Makeup Geek.
And I'm just applying that blush with a Tarte Cosmetics Unicorn brush. And I'm just pressing that directly onto my cheeks between that highlighter and my bronzer.
And if you go too crazy putting it in one spot, you can just take your beauty blender and just go over it a tiny little bit.
And now it is finally time to finish up our eyes, so I am taking the shade Midnight, again from the Jouer Springtime in Paris palette, on a Morphe Y22 brush. And I'm just taking that shade along my lower lash line, almost all the way into the inner corner, but not quite there. And again with the Tarte Unicorn brush, I am taking the shade Camel just to blend out that midnight shade. And on a Real Techniques accent brush, I am taking the Citrine highlighter and popping that on my inner corner. And with the Anastasia Pro Pencil in Base 1, I'm just lining my lower lash line to open my eyes up. And before I move on to my false lashes, I'm just coating my real ones with the Pure Cosmetics Volume Vixen Mascara.
So now off camera, I'm going to apply these Noir Fairy Lashes by House of Lashes, and I will be right back. To keep up with the nice cool tones we've got going on, we're going to use Desert Suede by Dose of Colors as our lip color to finish this whole look off.
If you really like taupey nudes like I do, this one is a great dupe for the Kylie Cosmetics Moon Lip Kit.
Now we're going to set everything to place with this Urban Decay All-Nighter Makeup Setting Spray
that I clearly like to completely drown myself in.
And this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching my first video. I am so excited to share with everybody and start working on more content and making this a regular thing. If you like what you saw, like, subscribe, comment. I want to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much again for joining me on my first tutorial, and I will see you all later.